All right, this week we're here with my buddy Josh Saint to do a straight up walk around on his 1979 Toyota Land Cruiser Troopy. All right, buddy, I know you've done quite a bit of work on this thing, so take us from the engine, first of all the model number, and take us from the engine through from front to back and tell us what's going on.
So this is a 1979 HJ45 Land Cruiser Troop Carrier, more commonly known as Troopy. She does come standard with the inline 6H diesel motor. We did swap the engine out and put the 12 HT inline 6 Toyota motor in, which is a turbo diesel for a little more horsepower and capability climbing, especially doing stuff at altitude. Also, it's a pop top, so we have a space to sleep in the top of the Land Cruiser when as we live in it, me and my wife. Up on top you see I don't know if you see the cable or not, but we have two solar panels on top, two flexible panels that we have for adding power to our two house batteries. On the inside we removed all the bench seats, put two bespoke captain's chairs in the front, and in the rear we put a bench cushion on one side with a refrigerator, stove, and an area to cook on the inside, some cabinetry and stuff like that for our clothes and other things.
Now, Lee and Josh are the ones we went to Arizona with back in January and February, and we leapfrogged each other all across from the south to the north, from basically just shy of the Mexican border to the Utah border, and it's a 1979 Toyota Troopy. It's the pinnacle of off-road living. If you go to Australia or Africa, you're going to see this vehicle in military use. It's just the standard, and it was pretty cool being out there seeing it in daily use. They've lived in it almost 6 months now, full time now. For a year and a half since you sold the hostel.
Yeah, we sold our business and moved into it. Not quite a year and a half. March 15th of 2017, last year.
Yep.
And we moved into it then, but we stayed with friends, family, did some house couch surfing a little bit while we were finishing up the Land Cruiser, getting it ready, doing things to it, and but yeah, we've been living it full time for a good 5 or 6 months now.
Yeah, and that means full time. That means refrigerator, cooking. They have a shelf that comes out and goes on the outside. The morning ritual. I know that Josh gets up at 7 a.m. is when the door opens, but Lee gets up at 6:29 a.m. and you'll hear the door creaking and the coffee's being made on the side of the vehicle. And so yeah, there's been many a good times having this thing, but it's very reliable. I've seen it worked on all across the country, with very simple tools, just minor things that, what you would expect. The reason people choose these vehicles is because they're so reliable and they're so easy to maintain, so easy to identify and fix issues on the spot immediately. So, but it was a solid performer out there, and y'all been in it for 5 or 6 months out west. You just got back from a full west tour after we left you in Arizona. You guys went on to California, so how long were you out? 3 months out there full?
Yeah, 3 months altogether. I did California, Nevada. We hit a lot of the national parks, a lot of the places out there, the desert areas, some of the sand dunes. Got to do a little bit of playing out there. Managed to not get her stuck. That's the one beauty of these things is they'll go anywhere. They don't get stuck. And part of our doing it, we actually repainted all this ourselves and put truck bed liner on it. So she's made to go off road. We don't care if she gets scratched or, we don't really have any of that southern pinstriping.
Yeah.
We avoid that, limbs and stuff. Having a nice solid vehicle, having a nice rack done on it. we did the rack on this thing. It was custom. A friend of mine is a CAD operator, and so our rack actually works like a drawer system for the pop top, so it slides back and can still hold about 300. It can hold 300 pounds of weight. We don't carry 300 pounds of weight, but it'll hold 300 pounds open.
Bike racks are up top.
Bike
Bikes
racks,
are up, yeah.
2 bike racks up top. We keep a couple of Pelican cases up top on those EO2 lockings, like the same
Which
thing you have.
he turned us on to the EO2 locks on the mule. On the top of the mule, you'll see the Pelican box on that. It is mounted with an EO2 system mount, and Josh is the one that turned us on to that. Winch on the front, steel rims.
Steel rims, we went away from the brake rims. It came with the brake rims initially. We did do away with those because it's so hard to find people to change them. It's great for off-road, but I don't really want to have to change them. I just carry 2 spares. It's not, we're budget building as much, we did a lot of this work ourselves. I went with a good old Harbor Freight winch. I'm not saying it's the best in the world, but it's good for now. We've had to pull people out of the beach with it.
Got pictures to prove it.
Got pictures to prove it. It works. We've never had to use it for our personal self, but for now we have that until we burn it up. Hopefully it'll last for a while. But she's rock solid.
Been thoroughly tested for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it has been authentically overlanding for almost 6 full months, like legitimately full-blown in full-time overland use, and everything's been addressed. The last issue was months and months ago and you put the sensor in to be able to track the temperature.
Put the EGT. I was a little concerned about at altitude some of the temperatures, some of the heat I was getting on the motor. So as a precaution, just worried about blowing up your home or messing it up. We put the EGT sensor, the exhaust gas temperature sensor in, and actually found out we don't really have a problem at all. I got a right foot problem.
Yeah.
You're giving it too much diesel sometimes, but that controlled all that stuff. And we spent the last 3 months, did not spend one night in a hotel or in outside of the Troopy in over 3 months.
Right.
So she's definitely been lived in, works great. There's always little things living in something full-time, this kind of space, and that's part of what we're doing. We're back here in Georgia now, and we've got her mostly emptied out and cleaning it, getting the dust out of it.
Refit,
doing some refitting stuff, but all in all, it's been great.
Light bars are controlled through
we use Switch Pro. Went to Switch Pro for their stuff. It's fully encased, it's waterproof, works Bluetooth. Living in it, and we're most of the time out in the woods on off-road places. We have light bars, we have ditch lights, light bars. We can make this thing light up 360. The Switch Pro is really nice.
Big time, I witnessed it.
And it being Bluetooth is nice too, because if we're up at the top at night and we hear something, whether it's a bear, an animal, or we think someone's coming up on us, I can open up my phone and just flip on the lights. It even has a strobe function on there, and that way you can kind of see around us without having to get out and try to look around and things like that. So
right.
It's worked. It's really a great piece of gear having the Switch Pro. System.
And the last major was the solar, and y'all just added that a month and a half ago. So it's been fully ran through and tested out. Everything's.
Yeah, we put solar panels in. Got 2 flexible panels from a company called Renogy. I'm sure there's some other brands out there, but works great because the top is curved and they're lightweight because the top goes up and down. We put that on and added 200 watts. It's expandable to 400 watts, but since we put it in, my battery's actually a little low today because we've been parked in the shade for several days, and then this is nice and early this morning. We're back in the shade, so
it's just in time to
top it off.
Make some coffee. I'll find some electric device to plug in, and we'll make some coffee.
But works perfect. We don't have to plug in ever. We've not had to plug in since we've put the system in. We've not used an outlet anywhere.
That's awesome.
And that's good with the refrigerator running full time. So
right. That's with refrigerator.
LED lights. We have a set of LEDs on the inside, and then of course, we run a laptop, 2 iPads, 2 iPhones.
Right.
Charging them every day, using them. Streaming video. We do all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty. We tax the 2 batteries. We run them, not low, but the solar panel really does a great job.
Right. So. Check them out at Troopy Living on Instagram, and they have another project coming up soon codename Lance that we'll
Codename
introduce
Lance.
you to in the future. But this is the Troopy. We had a blast bouncing around Arizona in this thing. Behind then, leapfrogging this thing, and got some great pics. You can see it on our Instagram at Unbound Overland. And there we go. Just wanted to give you an authentic vehicle walk around since we hadn't done one of those on here. And there you go. Thank y'all. See you next week. Right on, man.